if you can avoid, of course it's better to avoid. But more than this, if we avoid the interaction between seabirds and fishermen and the fishing hooks, we are also promoting a better fishery. So this is an economic issue. In that time, in the beginnings of the 90s, I started to work in the Santos fishing terminals, and women was not allowed in that place. It's a very masculine environment, just men work in the fishery, or mostly men work in the fisheries. So, wow, it's tricky because I have to work with them, I would like to work with them, and then I use a formal dress just to show that I'm there working, and I was a researcher, and then I convince a person, very formally, I convince a person that they care about the gates of the terminal. Say, oh, I have to make my research. I am a student. I was a student. I was very young at that time. And then I was a biologist student in university at that time. And then I started to go one day in a week, and then more frequently, and start to talk with the fishermen, especially with the captain. I never had any problem with the fishermen, never. They treat me with full respect all time, and vice versa. I always respect them a lot. We are changing knowledge. We recognize very quickly that is a very rich relationship between academics, researchers, and that men that have amazing life, very hard life, but it's amazing life. They spend, I don't know, 30 years at times, 20 years fishing at sea, looking at sea, and then they know everything about the sea and the marine animals. So we could change this knowledge, you see? So if you listen, you can be listened. So this relationship have to be built with respect and admiration. This was the main base of our work since the beginning.
So during the process, is there any budget support or any other format to support this project or research?
Well, you see, we can say that it's almost a personal effort. Yes, in the beginning it was. When we are younger, we are a bit more dreamers.
Yeah.
And we would like to use our energy, our capacity to solve problems. And I see that in that time, I could see clearly that this is a problem that can be solved. Because everybody will win if we solve that problem. Say, wow, I will work with the fishermen. And indeed, the fishermen are the solution. See? If you have a solution for this, it's in the fishermen's hands, fishermen's minds. They can think with us, or can think for us many times, how we can solve the problem. Of course, we nowadays, since many years, Projeto Albatorz go in the vessels, spend full fishing trips with them. That is very long sometimes, trying to develop mitigation measures to make them fishing better and avoid the seabirds bycatch. And then our toy lines, for example, we were with some captains, indeed we were with the fishing industry representatives, ship owners in New Zealand in December 2000 in the first International Fishes Forum. You were there together with us, and there that industry people could see some solutions. And then one of those bring some videos, pamphlets, and information about what is being tested in other countries in the world. For example, the toy lines was shown to the fishermen in a video, and one fisherman, one captain saying, wow, I can do that. But they are seeing the Tory line with long streams. You see that touch the sea surface. And our vessels are small vessels, like 25 or 30 meters in the maximum. And then we can use the short streams because they created a Brazilian way to do a Tory line. And we tested, of course, before we organize as a mitigation measure. We make a lot of tests at sea. We start to changing with the view of other fishermen. So Mr. José Ventura is the fisherman who invented the Tory line with short streamers, and then we started to use it in other vessels, and then other captains say, oh, may I have an idea? We can change the main line, we can put something a little bit more lighter, and then we can see how the birds are behavior, and then we start to modify it until we have the final design that was approved by the Seabirds by Catch working group of international agreement for the conservation of Albatorz and predators. So it was an international, how can I say, recognition, you see, and with this important background, the feedback of the most important researcher in mitigation measure in the world, we could recommend for our government to have a legislation use our model of Tory line. So in 2011, we have the first national legislation considering Tory line and line weighting as two mitigation measures that is the fishermen have to use when they fish south of 20 degrees.
It become mandatory?
Yes, it was mandatory since 2011, and then under the supervisor, not supervisor, but under the orientation from Seabirds by Catch working group of ACAP, we in 2014 we updated this legislation, and then you have another one. Nowadays, in Brazil, if you fish it with pelagic longline southern of 20 degrees south, we have to use 3 mitigation measures at the same time, simultaneously, like Tory lines in that model we tested, and line weighting in 3 different ways, and night setting. This is an obligation in Brazil. It's totally mandatory now.
So you don't need to worry about the compliance issue. They all follow the regulation very well.
No, you have to worry about compliance. Yes, this is a big problem because we cannot ensure that the fishermen are using. You have the legislation is good, it's complete, it's following the international recommendations, but you cannot see if they are using or not. Let's analyze individually. If you look straight to the line weighting issues, we can see at the harbor. So the port inspectors could verify the distance between the weights and the hooks and the quantity of weight that they are using. So it's easy to verify. But night setting and the use of Tory line, the correct use of Tory line, this both happen at sea. And then the port inspectors cannot realize if they are using or not. So this is a problem, it's an international problem, it's a worldwide problem. Even for those fishermen that use the mitigation measure, you need tools to verify the compliance, especially in the cases, for example, if you want to certify some fisheries. The international certification improves the profits, is important economically, guarantee space in the market, you see, so this is important for the fishermen. So we need to develop good compliance verification tools to make sure that they are using all mitigation measures that is necessary to save the birds.
I think after 30 years, you from one person working to now you have a, I think, quite successful foundational project. So what do you think the most important successful people for this process?
Wow, this is a long way. 30 years, a full life almost. And yes, in the beginning was very difficult. Sometimes we have some small financial support mixed with a long time with no support at all. And then I work in another place and use my time free to dedicate for these issues. But with the time, you see, we could dedicate my time more. We counting with volunteers to start the work, and in such moment we start to gain more financial support. Since 12 years ago, we have the sponsorship for Petrobras, that is our Brazilian oil company. It's a big oil company, it's an important one in Brazil, and they sponsor many different programs for marine conservation, terrestrial as well, but marine is very strong in terms of sponsorship from Petrobras, and Petrobras start to sponsor us. This gives us a different view, a different structure to keep the work. This is very important for this kind of work. We need sponsorships, we need financial support permanently. We don't need just for 2 years time or 3 years. This not solve the problem, because you have to work with the fishermen, and the fishermen start to trust you, that take a time to do that. They understand that we are not there to judge them or to punish them. No, we are there to work together in a positive way. So to gain the trust of the people is very difficult, and when you are working very well and then you are financial finished and you have to stop that, and then to start again is very difficult. So this work is a work that is permanent. You cannot stop. Another sponsorship that was very important for us, is important for us, is the Albatorz Task Force program for BirdLife International and RSPB, that's Royal Society for the Protection of Birds. They have an international team of instructors that is paid for international money, international resource, and they are employed in different countries, South America and also in Africa, South Africa and Namibia mostly, to go on board the vessels, trial the mitigation measure, adapt, update it, and work with the fishermen, listen to the fishermen, and work with them. So this is I guess this is the most important thing to do. Work with the fishermen, listen them, and then they will listen the people that is trying to serve the birds and find a common way to fish in a sustainable way.
Yeah, I think you are very successful because from the beginning and today I saw you have a sample bank on the Albatorz for research. Yeah. So just maybe let's question that, is there any suggestions for you to give the young female scientists in this field?
Yes, don't give up, believe in yourself. If you have, if you are sure that there is a problem that you can solve, and you can see a way, when you can see a way that you can solve an important problem, especially environmental problem, especially for the conservation of biodiversity, that is a big problem. We have a conservation crisis in the world today. If you can see this, it's the same of if you are open a window, and you receive directly the sunlight, and you can see the way. So if you feel like this, don't give up. Believe in yourself and do your work professionally, the best way you can do, permanently, and you will reach very, very important results. This is what I would like to say for our younger girls.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Beautiful. Oh, emotional. I would like to see this.
I'm so touched.
Oh yeah, me too. This is true.